What the fuck is going on? And what is this lazy fucking chat that's not even... What is this? What is this, huh? Let me see some fucking sun gorillas very fast and at a very rapid pace, because we are responding now to a longtime enemy of the infrared live stream. I recall the days when Hasan Piker was one of the OG fucking enemies of the infrared webcast, and he remains so to this day. That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Hasan Piker. Love, I look at my eyes. I have that deranged look in my eyes. Hasan Piker, indeed. Hasan Piker, indeed. That is the OG supervillain and enemy of the infrared webcast. One of the enemies, at least. We have plenty, Vosh, Destiny, the rest of them. But Hasan is one of them. And no one should forget that. So how do we respond to Hasoy Pecker's community? First and foremost, I want to see some fucking sun gorillas in this goddamn fucking chat, because you guys are going too fucking slow for comfort. You're going too slow for comfort. We need to zoom past this, accelerate forward, and show everyone the might of the infrared webcast. Zoom forward, okay? A lot of things on the itinerary today. We are also going to be reacting and watching the Yankee Tankies debate with Dylan Burns. That's on the fucking itinerary. That's something we're going to be doing. Get hyped, get excited. It's coming in hot as soon as we settle this Hasoy business, this Hasan Piker business. So today on stream, Hasan Piker decided to take a swipe at our movement, the MAGA Communism movement, and therefore the infrared movement at large. And Hasoy Pecker made some comments insinuating that we are not real Marxist-Leninists, and that in fact we're actually just liberals because we support Russia. And we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of it. But I find it hilarious, I find it baffling that Hasoy Pecker, a known shill of the Democratic Party, is out here claiming to be some kind of authority on what Marxism-Leninism is, probably because what? He's listening to what Twitter dumbfucks have to say through the grapevine, through Hakkim's community and the D program and those fucking people. Hey, Hasoy Pecker, those people are fucking Trotskyites. They have nothing to do with any real Marxist-Leninist tradition. At best, they're just tropical social democrats. They support third world communist states, conditionally, by the way, but they support them in the same way that Trotskyist PSL does, as a tropical POC marginalized people fighting imperialism, but they don't support any of the positive achievements of Marxism-Leninism and communism in practice. And I'm talking about super mega industrialization. That is the only fucking index of the success of Marxism-Leninism. And if you don't agree with that, you're not a fucking Marxist. It's basic theory of the productive forces. It's Marxism 101. Thank you so much to fund the oligarchy. I am so fucking sick of people using Cuba as an example of Marxist-Leninist policy and practice. Sorry, it's not. Marxist-Leninist policy in practice is about developing the productive forces. It's not about having benevolent, generous policies to do charity, basically, state-based charity for the poor. It's not about having the best healthcare system in the fucking world. It should have that, but that's not what measures it, okay? Scandinavia can have a good fucking healthcare system. Sweden can have a good fucking healthcare system. Just because Cuba does a bunch of noble, nice, and good things, I'm not denying they're good things, by the way, if any dumb fuck wants to take me out of fucking context. I'm not denying Cuba does good shit. And I'm not denying all the nice things Cuba does around the world with its doctors, and its education, and its healthcare system. But that's not a demonstrable example of the positive successes of a scientific socialist government or state or system, okay? The only examples historically you have of that are going to be industrialization and unleashing the productive forces. It's what Stalin did, it's what Mao did, it's what Deng Xiaoping did, yada, yada, yada. The Hackim, Luna Soy crowd don't give a fuck about any of that. All they like to fucking talk about are the fair policies implemented under socialist governments. Nothing is uniquely socialist about that. You have similarly fair policies that are implemented in Scandinavian fucking countries. It's not about fairness that defines the success of Marxist-Leninist theory. It's about the unleashing of the productive forces. That's what it's actually fucking about. Creating an industrial base. And you say, how other countries can do that too? They really can't. Give me a fucking example of any country that independently fucking industrializes itself. You can't. South Korea? There's no South Korea without American-led Bretton Woods. Same the story of Singapore and all the fucking rest of them is the same shit. Well, Haas, what about Japan? Japan led a top-down industrialization program that lacked any kind of hinterlands whatsoever. It's why the fucking Japanese had to colonize all of Eastern fucking Asia to use it as their fucking agricultural hinterlands, because the Japanese themselves lacked the long-term ability to sustain any kind of independent industrial civilization. So no, Japan is not a fucking example of that either. Literally the only fucking examples throughout history of non-European, and the unique significance of that is just being outside of the center of Anglo-Saxon finance, unleashing the productive forces and industrializing themselves. It's communist states. There's no fucking exceptions to that whatsoever. That's an index of the success of Marxism-Leninism and nothing more. Don't fucking talk to me about Cuba. As nice and noble as Cuba's policies are, they are not demonstrable examples of the success of Marxism-Leninism. Why? Because Marxism-Leninism and scientific socialism are about successfully unleashing the productive forces. Holy fuck, it's Marxism 101. If you don't fucking understand this, you know nothing whatsoever about Marx or what he wrote, about what it actually means for historical progress to exist. Marx defined historical progress in terms of advances in the forces of production and our ability to relate to nature in such a way that produces not only more wealth, but a more advanced means, technologically, of relating to our way of reproducing ourselves as human beings. The more complex and advanced we fucking get in doing that, it's a line that fucking goes up in terms of technology. Yeah, you can get into decolonial theory and be like, is European progress really progress? You can get into all the cultural stuff, and I'll play ball with you. I will work with you on the cultural shit. Sure, yeah, the Whig history, the line going up is not real. But as far as basic Marxism 101 is concerned, the technology shit is non-negotiable. Technology is an objective fact. The productive forces, that's an objective fact, okay? That's not some kind of like culturally relative. No, that's an objective scientific reality that, yes, there is such a thing as being more advanced, and it's based in the forces of production. That's an objective, real thing. Okay, I'll play ball with you on the culture shit, sure. I don't think European culture is more advanced than a culture of tribes in the fucking Amazon. I don't think that. I actually don't think that, right? I don't think, the way we have gender relations is better than how fucking, some tribe in the middle of Africa has it. I don't think that, right? But I do agree that the productive forces are an objective constant. If you repudiate and abandon that, you repudiate the whole of Marxism. And this has always been a basic fact of Marxism-Leninism, period. Do not fucking sit here. I know it's fashionable on Twitter to be like, oh, I'm an ML, that means I watch Hackim. Hackim is not a fucking Marxist-Leninist. Hackim is just a fucking tropical social democrat who likes Cuba and the revisionist era of the USSR for the same reasons he likes fucking Cuba. Because all of the social democrats around the fucking world, even those Swedish fucks, and all those, no offense to Swedish people or whatever, but all these social democrats liked the USSR broadly, especially the post-Stalin USSR, because it had a strong kind of social safety net. It was kind of a more welfare-oriented society. It was able to exercise economic power in a moral way because, everything is being directly politicized and yada, yada, yada. So they have a lot of strong sympathies for the USSR solely on that basis. But these same people aren't the ones that are applauding Deng Xiaoping's reform and opening up and China's tremendous success in unleashing the productive forces. They're also not strongly emphasizing the rapid industrialization achieved under Stalin in the USSR. Why? Because they don't care about the development of the fucking productive forces. They care about the ability for institutions to exercise direct control over the fucking economy. That's all they fucking care about. The more government and institutions are able to control economy to fulfill some kind of common moral aim, they consider that to be socialism. And Cuba is the ultimate example of this, because listen, Cuba is one of the most moral governments in the entire world. I'll never fucking deny it. Cuba says, okay, the government controls everything, so we're going to be moral about it, and we're going to have great health care, and we're going to have great this, and we're going to have great that. That's fine, Cuba, that's fine, but your infrastructure is still from the fucking 1940s, right? Your infrastructure hasn't been updated. You have no industry. You've never developed your productive forces whatsoever. It's pretty much, from a Marxist perspective, a backward country. It's a backward country. It's a stagnant country. And you can praise exercise of government control for the common welfare of Cubans all you want, but listen, it doesn't matter how fucking moral you are if you don't have the meat and potatoes and the wealth to show for it. If you don't have the wealth to show for it, how really moral is it? Like Deng Xiaoping is right. Socialism is not poverty. You can be as moral as you fucking want. That's fine. Where's the industry? Where's the development of the productive forces? That is what is basic to Marxism. I challenge anyone who wants to fucking come here and debate me on that. I will wipe the fucking floor with you. It is so elementary and so fucking basic to Marxism. Marx, Engels, Lenin, Stalin, Mao, anyone you fucking want, I will wipe the clock with you, showing you basic passages, basic evidence from the Marxist canon to support this fucking point of view. Period. Without the development of the productive forces, you are not dealing with any kind of successful implementation of Marxist-Leninist theory or scientific socialism. Point blank, period. Stop fucking using Cuba and Luna Soy's Vietnam as an example of socialism. If anything, Luna Soy should be praising Vietnam's industrialization-oriented policies, right? But she doesn't do that. Luna Soy condemns Vietnam's market economy as we were forced to become wealthier and rapidly expand our productive forces at gunpoint by the Americans. We would love to sit in communes and grow cacao beans and be moral and pure socialist, but we got victimized by U.S. imperialism to fucking what? To raise your fucking standard of living and have more wealth and productivity? It's so fucking stupid. Luna Soy doesn't emphasize any of the achievements of Vietnam or the Vietnamese economy. All she says that's a bad thing and it's something that was forced on Vietnam by America. So for them, all socialism is when institutions led by woke moralist leftists have the ability to control the economy directly, to use the economy. By the way, this is basic idealism. Use the economy as a form of implementing your moral vision for the world. You're so moral. You're so moral. You're so moral. But how do people eat? You're so moral. You're so moral. But why are there shortages for all fucking basic kinds of goods? You're so moral, though. You're so fucking moral, though. But you're in poverty, basically. You're not starving. You're not malnourished. You're not, you have the basics. I'm not going to deny those achievements of having the basics. But I'm sorry, Marxism-Leninism is about more than that. It's about the all-around full acculturation of mankind so that you have abundances of wealth, so you have more free time to dedicate to actually enriching yourself. And being able to culturally enrich yourself does entail having more wealth. I'm sorry, if you don't agree, you're a fucking idiot. Right? Being able to have access to all of the kinds of different experiences befitting of mankind. I mean, fuck it. Fuck it. Let me just go full fucking Reddit. And I can't believe I'm fucking saying that, but isn't it some kind of index of historical progress for VR headsets to be available to the common man so you can fucking use them educationally and explore? I mean, come on, why not, right? That is I'm not saying the baseline doesn't matter. It does. But why shouldn't a kind of country aspire toward being able to have the most access to all of our new forms of digital technology and so on and so on, right? Maybe the VR headset isn't a good example, but what about advanced computer microchips? What about computers, right? What about things like that? What about 5G and increased internet connectivity? Things like that, things of that nature. That stuff matters. It's not a necessity. You're not going to die without it, but it's still fucking important for what Marx calls the all-around development and acculturation of humanity, right? So Hasan thinks he's some kind of fucking Marxist-Leninist, again, because he's drawing from Luna Soy and Hackim and all these other fucking Twitter dumb fucks who rep the ML label but have no actual tradition to any kind of Marxist-Leninist tradition whatsoever. To give you perspective on that, Luna Soy is dating some kind of white anarchist guy, American from Seattle, Washington, or Portland, Oregon. I don't know where the fuck he's from. One of those West Coast fucking places. Doesn't reflect any authentic Vietnamese Marxist-Leninist tradition, which, by the way, is already revisionist to boot, okay? To add insult to injury. The worst part of this is even the fucking Cubans aren't as bad as Hackim and Luna Soy. If you ask the Cubans what's going on, they're like, we're trying to make changes and navigate our future. They're not like sitting here and saying, oh yeah, we're the best. This is exactly what America should adopt. They're kind of more like, America's a wealthy country. Gee, I wish we could be more like that if we weren't fucking under embargoes and sanctions and shit. They're not sitting here being like, yeah, this is the ideal implementation of Marxist-Leninism or scientific socialism. I'm not even blaming Cuba necessarily. Stop fucking using Cuba as an example of the successful implementation of Marxism-Leninism. It's fucking stupid. Because it's not. There's nothing uniquely Marxist-Leninist or scientific socialist about that. It does take, uniquely, yes, Marxism-Leninism and scientific socialism to independently industrialize and modernize your country's economy without having the ability to take care of the capital differentials centered in the advanced Western capitalist countries whatsoever. Like, that is a huge, tremendous achievement no one else has ever been able to fucking do ever, right? In any point in history. Even Germany's industrialization was overseen by investment from foreign capital. Tremendous, tremendous investment, by the way. Same thing with Japan, too, by the way. I don't know why fucking people use Japan as an example of that, because it's just not. I mean, the USSR had some kind of trade agreement with American industrialists. I recognize that. But it was peanuts as far as what it actually takes for a country to fully industrialize itself without having to rely fully on the financial institutions of the West. So the USSR made trade agreements with the Ford Motor Company and General Electric. That's not the same as being reliant on foreign loans, which are forms of financial capital, actually, in order to industrialize themselves. Foreign capital, basically, right? They just had trade agreements and direct exchanges to acquire some Western technology. China, meanwhile, has fully controlled the method of foreign investment. Fully. It's fully controlled. That's not true for any fucking other country in history, right? I'm not here to shit on Cuba, by the way. I'm here to shit on people like Hackim and Luna Soy, who call themselves Marxist-Leninists just because they praise Cuba. Well, the fucking Trotskyites, PSL, loves praising Cuba more than anything else. And they're fucking Trotskyites, they're not Marxist-Leninists. It takes more to be a Marxist-Leninist than to just be like, oh, I like Fidel Castro and I like Cuba. Nobody gives a fuck. Literally, in Europe, if you're a fucking sockdem, it's the norm to praise Cuba. It's the norm. There's nothing Marxist-Leninist uniquely about that. Nothing at all, okay? By the way, Cuba's got a lot of fucking problems, and no, you're a fucking idiot if you think all of those problems are because of the U.S. embargo. They're not. There's a lot of problems that reflect the deficiencies of Cuba's system. And yeah, it's better compared to Haiti. It's better compared to the Dominican Republic. It's better compared to other countries in the Caribbean. But for Cuba's size and its resources and its potential, it does reflect errors and deficiencies on part of its leadership, which China has observed. Sorry, let me just put it this way. If we're going to have an American version of socialism, right? If we're going to have American socialism, I'm sorry, we're not going to use Cuba as our model. I mean, we're not going to use any foreign country as our model, really, but I'm not going to be here and be like, oh yeah, we should be more like Cuba. I'm sorry, no. We should be more like China, if anything, right? We should have a strong industrial policy and have a super industrialization. I mean, we should rapidly develop the productive forces, have an infrastructure-driven type of economy. That's what scientific socialism and Marxism-Leninism looks like in practice, not fairly redistributing the cacao beans. I don't care about the fucking cacao beans. Okay? Hackim emphasized, though that crowd, those Marxist-Leninists, emphasize all of the aspects of the USSR and communist states, which are in no way uniquely communist or Marxist-Leninist. Just period, right? Oh, things were more fair. Things were more fair. Okay, but fairness is not an index of objective historical progress from a Marxist-Leninist perspective. Although it's important, although I'm not downplaying it, it's not an index of that. Period. Point blank fucking period. Okay? Now, let's actually get to the fucking thing at hand that I wanted to cover. Because Hasan Piker, again, Hasoy Pecker, recently on stream, he decided to make some comments, and no one forced him to do this, by the way. He did it on his own accord. Holy shit, Paperwin, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you so... Paperwin, thank you so much, brother. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. So Hasoy Pecker decided to attack the MAGA communism movement. Yes, you heard that right. He attacked us. He attacked our movement. He attacked everything we stand for. He attacked everything we're about. And now he is going to be destroyed and utterly BTFO to the next dimension, ladies and gentlemen. We're not playing around here. We're not playing around here. This is a real attack from Hasoy Pecker on the MAGA communism movement, sitting on his fucking Twitch channel, which he hasn't been banned from. I was fucking banned, Hasan, because I'm a real one and you're a fake and a fraud. You're a fraud and you're a fake. You're not real, Hasan. I'm real. You are still on Twitch because you're not a fucking revolutionary and you're not a fucking challenge to the establishment. You have the audacity to call me a fucking liberal when you're still streaming on Twitch after I got banned and you're a fucking political streamer? Get the fuck out of here. I'm the liberal? I'm the liberal? Really? Thank you so much, Blackpack. Thank you so much, Blackpack. I'm the fucking liberal, then why am I the fucking guy they target and ban? You ever thought of that? Why am I the guy they ban and they target? How the fuck does that work, right? I'm the liberal, but I'm the one who gets banned, and Hasan, who's a true socialist and a democratic socialist, who also happens to have a fucking PhD in Marxism-Leninism that Luna Soy, who has a white anarchist American boyfriend, gave to him, apparently. What is this madness, right? Well, they're not even real Marxist-Leninists. Who the fuck told you that? Your fucking OnlyFans ML friend? You know, there's literally these OnlyFans girls running around on Twitch and Twitter, and they're like, I'm a Marxist-Leninist, a real one. I'm a POC who's also a socialist, and I'm basically a SOCDEM and a Democrat, but I'm a little bit spicy. Ooh. That's it! So these OnlyFans upstanding citizens, upstanding contributors to society, we were such big fans of them. They told Hasan that what real Marxism-Leninism is. I'm not even kidding, guys. I am not shitting you. I am not shitting you. Prostitution was banned in every communist state. in history, maybe with the exception of Cuba, which is not really a communist state, to be honest. It's more like a, you know, socialistic country. I would not call that a Marxist-Leninist country. Even Cuba looks down on it, though, for the average person. But they have it, and it's more or less tolerated. And it's actually pretty fucking horrible and shameful because it's directed toward tourists. You can get more money being a prostitute than a doctor in Cuba. It's pretty outrageous, if you ask me. But in any case, every real Marxist-Leninist state has banned prostitution. Thank you so much, Siderite.
Cocoa bean Marxism versus coffee machine Marxism.
Yeah. Yeah, but be wary of those baristas. Really, be wary of those baristas because, honestly, right? Be wary of those baristas. But, you know, you're dealing with these OnlyFans Marxist-Leninists. Oh, I'm a spicy social democrat. I'm spicy. I'm spicy because I'm POC. Nobody fucking cares. Doesn't make you a Marxist-Leninist just because you're not white. Prostitution was banned in every communist state. You would be in jail under Stalin. You would be in jail. You would be in jail. You would be in jail in China today. You would be in jail even during the revisionist period of the USSR, even under Khrushchev, even under Brezhnev, even under Gorbachev probably, you would be in jail. In North Korea, you would be in jail. They don't tolerate that shit. Stop calling yourself a Marxist-Leninist. You're not. I promise. I promise. I promise. No, I don't just promise it. I guarantee it to you. I vow it to you. I guarantee it to you. It would be banned. Okay? Now let's get to the incriminating evidence, ladies and gentlemen. We've had a good enough introduction. Right, we had a good enough introduction. But now we're going to get into the nitty-gritty of exactly what Hasan's offense was, what exactly it was he said. And then stay tuned, because we're also going to be watching the Yankee Tankies' epic and monumental takedown of Dylan Burns, who is also an enemy of the Infrared Webcast and has been from the very beginning. Ladies and gentlemen, you are watching the Infrared Webcast, the #1 source of Marxist-Leninist entertainment media in the world and on the internet. We are the headquarters of Marxism-Leninism in the age of multipolarity. Sit back, strap in, and enjoy yourself, because it's going to be a wild fucking ride. You're about to get yourself educated and informed. If you're a Hasan viewer, realize you're probably a dumb fuck who's been lied to for your whole fucking life. Thank you so much, PJ. Appreciate you.
Morally, but legally, I think I would rather that men who want families know who the prostitutes are.
That's the strongest point I've ever heard. That's the most powerful argument I've ever heard. I'm not going to lie. Thank you so much, PJ. But I still think it should be banned. And I think that the bad morals will just reflect in other ways, probably just through sleeping around a lot. Honestly, it's an example of bad morals for women. There's ways for that to be expressed. I mean, in the Soviet Union, by the way, under Stalin, that's what they used to say. When a woman slept around, they said, oh, she has loose morals. She has bad morals. That's what they've said. It was convention. Every communist state in history, that's what they used to say. Okay? I've read it. I've read the feminist critiques of the Soviet Union, where they cite passages of letters and newspapers and shit, and they would call it loose morals. That's what they used to call it. A woman with, you're not going to go to jail for sleeping around. I don't want women to go to jail for sleeping around, but it's called having loose morals, and it's acknowledged and recognizes that in every communist country in history. I don't want to ban women who want to sleep around. That's fine. It's your own choice. It's between you and God. But I do want to ban prostitution. I do want to ban pornography. I do want to ban OnlyFans. As every communist state in history did. Pornography is banned in the People's Republic of China. Pornography was banned in the Soviet Union. Pornography was banned in pretty much every communist state except in a brief moment in Poland. And that's because of some revisionist jibber-jabber going on right there. Pretty much every communist state, it was banned, and there was zero tolerance for it. And if it was smuggled in, you would be arrested and tried and sentenced to jail, or worse, right? But let's be honest here. We all know what's going on. Hasan, meanwhile, claims to be an authority on Marxism-Leninism. He's out here visiting brothels that were raided for human trafficking. That's a fact. He's out here promoting OnlyFans and prostitution and having porn stars on his stream. The list goes on. I mean, ladies and gentlemen, this is not an authority on Marxism-Leninism whatsoever. Who's here to tell us what real Marxism-Leninism is or isn't? Sorry, guys, it's not the case. Really isn't. Anyway, we're going to get right into it, right? Watching it right now. Hasoy Pecker. Hasoy Pecker. Hasoy Pecker. Hasoy Pecker. Hasoy Pecker. Hasoy Pecker, ladies and gentlemen. Hasoy Pecker. Hasoy Pecker, ladies and gentlemen. He's here. He's here. Hasoy Pecker. We're going to watch it. And you're going to see the outrageous, dumb bullshit that was said by Hasoy Pecker. Okay? And we're going to watch that right now. And you're going to see the attack he made and the swipe he made. And he's going to be thoroughly eviscerated beyond the pale, beyond the threshold, really. I don't know how Hasan's going to recover from this. As we see, Hasan is he's aging and he's in denial. He used to have a millennial long haircut. He's now trying to go for the extreme other opposite, having a Zoomer e-boy haircut. He has no self-awareness that he's a grown man in his 30s and he's just simply be a normal person and stop exaggerating with his hairstyles. And he's either got to have long hair and be this annoying, obnoxious millennial, or he's got to have an e-boy haircut pretending to be a Zoomer. You're not a Zoomer, Hasan. Just be a normal person. Thank you, Mayor.
My family were polished communists in the 50s. I would love to hear your takes and thoughts on the PRL.
I think it's a complicated history. That's what I would say. It's the de-Stalinization. Thank you so much.
Hassan running from Shanghai.
That is profound. I find that profound. He's Antifa and he wants to punch the fash, but he runs away from them when called out. That's quite interesting. Quite interesting indeed. Quite interesting. I mean, if someone said that to me, I would just say, "Okay, come, bitch," right? And you say, "Oh, Haz, you didn't want to do a boxing match." Well, I mean, I was down to do an MMA match, but then I said, "Okay, everyone who wants to test me, do a formal public test of whether I'm willing to fight. I'll go meet up with this fucking guy who challenged me, who everyone said I wouldn't." And I went there and he didn't show up. So I said, I'm not playing any games, doing any bullshit. You want to fuck with me? Come fuck with me. I'm not doing any formal events with rules, okay? And of course, I'm against violence completely. I'm a law-abiding citizen. I would not agree with any kind of violence, of course. I mean, I'm also on YouTube. Anyway, guys, let's continue. So, again, we have to comment on the Hasoy Pecker because this is just the tip of the iceberg. We see a grown man who was wearing a ridiculous, obnoxious, millennial haircut. Now he's doing the polar opposite, trying to be a Zoomer e-boy. He's not a Zoomer. You're not a Zoomer, Hasan. You could just have a normal haircut for a grown man in his 30s. You know, short. You've got a good hairline, probably better than mine. So you could have it short, nice, clean cut, and short, like a man should. Not this jibber-jabber Zoomer nonsense that we're seeing here. But the fashion speaks volumes. The fashion speaks volumes, ladies and gentlemen. That alone is quite incriminating. He wants to be a Zoomer so bad. Just like how Hasan wants to be a Marxist-Leninist so bad. You see how he tries to cope with aging in the same way he copes with his ignorance over basic Marxist-Leninist theory. He claims to be, he's presenting himself as some kind of e-boy Zoomer who's in touch, just like he pretends to be like he's in touch with what all the dumb Zoomers on Twitter are saying about Marxism-Leninism. But Hasan, has it ever concerned you that these Zoomers don't know what the fuck they're talking about when they're claiming to be Marxist-Leninists with all sorts of funky flags? By the way, they have flags in their username that I cannot mention because I'm on YouTube in any denigrating fashion, but I will just give you a hint that those flags are not the flags of any country. They're flags that you have alongside the flags of communist states like North Korea, even though if you actually waved those flags in the respective countries, China, North Korea, and so on, you'd probably be thrown in jail. That's why they probably love Vietnam and Cuba, because Vietnam and Cuba are probably more tolerant when it comes to the socially liberal, progressive, Scandinavian OnlyFans stuff, right? After all, Luna Soy has safe harbor. In any case, That's what we're dealing with there. Hasan is not born defective in any kind of way, but as you can see, it's the law of Lysenkoism. It's Lysenkoism in practice. He has adopted a soy ideology and is slowly chipping away at him, and he is morphing into a soy male, both in fashion and physically as well, physiologically, and that's very clear to everyone. He's coping with aging, and he wants to be a Zoomer e-boy, and he's not. He's really quite not. He's really quite not, ladies and gentlemen. Could just have a normal haircut. Could just present oneself as a normal person, but he's not interested in actually resonating with the working people of this country. He's interested in resonating with mentally ill fellow millennials, actually, who are in denial about their age and other things that we can't mention, that watch his streams. Unrelated to this, but I wonder why Hasan didn't play the Harry Potter game. Wonder why. Kind of a mystery to me. Can't quite parse it out, figure that out. A little bit strange. Wonder why he'd be afraid of upsetting his audience. What's so bad about Harry Potter? I don't get it. Is there controversy around that? I'm not in the loop. Speaking of denial, the Nile River in Egypt. The Nile River in Egypt. 1984 on YouTube. Anyway, guys, let's continue watching. It is, ladies and gentlemen, it is 1984 on YouTube. Okay? Let's continue because Carlo Marcos, thank you so much for the donation, which we'll go through now. Go ahead, Carlo Marcos. Speak your piece. Passing the microphone to you. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Is it on? Or is it on? Or is it... Okay, there we go.
Good evening, us in chat. Us please have dinner with Donald Trump. BTW Cubans still salty about the USSR for not letting us use the missiles, so unfair.
Thank you so much, Carlo. And I agree with you. I agree with Che Guevara, actually. And I agree with him more than I agreed with Fidel Castro, at least. Because I think Che Guevara was on the right note when he criticized the USSR. I think I agree with Che Guevara's critiques of the USSR almost in every way, geopolitically, in terms of the critique of their internal economic structure and so on and so forth. But the Soviets made sure that Che's influence wouldn't dominate the Cuban society and the Cuban government afterwards. It's quite a shame, but I'm a big fan of Che Guevara. I'm a big fan. Thank you so much, brother. Appreciate the 10. But as far as having dinner with Donald Trump, I never thought of that. So if you'll excuse me, I am going to go have dinner with Donald Trump. So I'll be right back. I'm going to go do it right now. All right, guys. Just had dinner with Donald Trump. It was more like a brunch, a little more like a snack, more like he gave me an M&M. And we shared the M&M. We cracked it in half, and he had one half, and I had the other half. And I asked him, Trump, why the fuck did you kill Soleimani? And he said, I didn't want to do it. It wasn't me. I was just the face of it. And I said, okay. And I asked him, Trump, what's your real plan here? And he said, I, Donald J. Trump, am an earnest communist of the Marxist-Leninist tradition, and I am trying to bring communism to America. I swear to you, Haz, please trust me. And I said, I don't quite trust you, Trump. I don't quite trust you, but it is reassuring to hear that, my friend. It's very reassuring to hear that. We need to add Trolla in this chat. Trolla. We need to add that to the chat. Anyway, guys, let's watch Hasoy Pecker and his pathetic statements about me, the MAGA communist movement, the infrared community, and real Marxist-Leninists at large. Let's see what he says.
Yeah, look, no matter what happens, you fucking speak out against, like, America's foreign interests. People will literally fucking use that, okay? No matter what happens, if you speak out against America's interests, they will tell you you're a bad guy, you're fucking bad. They will group you up with, like, actually bad people too, which is really fucking annoying. You know what I mean? Like, I can't speak for Claire Daly, but, like, they'll just literally be like, oh, you're akin to Jimmy Dore. You're akin to fucking Glenn Greenwald. You're fucking operating.
No, I'm not that bad. Oh no, so Hasoy Pecker is doing something pretty unprecedented. Now, usually people were scared to be compared to Hitler, right? Oh, you're akin to Hitler. That's horrible. Oh, you're akin to Jimmy Dore. Wow, it's the end of the fucking world, isn't it? It's really the end of the world to be compared to Jimmy Dore. I mean, what is this lib shit on lib shit violence going on? This is how libtards communicate, apparently. No, you're more like Jimmy Dore. No, you're more like Jimmy Dore. You're both libtards, though. That's the thing. What are you even complaining? It's like they're casting Hogwarts spells of people marginally different from them on the political spectrum. Glennis Greenwald, Jimmy this Dore. Oh, you're not ready for this. Kylius Kolinskius. Oh, yes. You're not ready for this one. Ready? Oh, no, you don't want to hear this. This is like the Avada Kedavra of liberal leftism. Being compared to this is basically a career suicide. You are more like Jacksonius Hinkle. I've destroyed you. It's like, is that supposed to be an insult? Okay, look, I know we disagree. We both, like, lick Biden's ass, and we're both Democrat shills. We're both shills of the Rockefeller, Soros, Open Society Foundation agenda, and we're both shills of the billionaire oligarchic degrowth elites, and we're both shills of the same ruling class elites. But come on, I'm not as bad as Jimmy Dore. I'm still a fucking ass licker for the establishment like you. I'm still an ass licker. I'm still a shill for the establishment. I'm still a fucking spineless piece of shit who can't fucking speak truth to power. I'm still having these really expensive contracts with Twitch, and I'm really invited to all the exclusive Hollywood bullshit parties. And I'm like still considered part of the progressive elite, okay? Don't you dare compare me to that heretic Jimmy Dore. I'm still part of the woke Catholic Church cathedral. And like, dude, I'm like, yeah, of course I'm on the same side as Kamala Harris. Why would you call that into question?
Genderist dysmorphia.
Thank you, Carlo. How could you call into question my, yeah, of course, when push comes to shove, I voted for Biden. I just kind of disagree with you about some stuff. Don't compare me to Jimmy Dore. I mean, yeah, I agree with you that Putin is the next Hitler and Russia is the worst country in the world and we need to destroy Russia in the long term with color revolutions. I just don't want it to be nuclear war. Yeah, I want to engage in a civilizational genocide against Russia through Soros-backed color revolutions and regime change operations by the use of soft power. But I just don't want nuclear war. And I just feel like that's not justified to compare me to that heretic Jimmy Dore, because I still want to be invited to the Hollywood elite exclusive parties. I still want to be liked by the mainstream media, and I want to be part of the one big club that George Carlin talked about of the cultural elites, of the cultural wing of the American ruling class. I don't want to be like that Haas guy who gets banned. I don't want to be banned. I don't want to be canceled. I want to be part of your club. Let me in. Let me stay. I want to be able to have dinner with Kamala Harris with a happy ending. I'm just kidding. That's too far. I don't know what got into me. Now I put that image in all of your head. You don't get that. Her special interest corporate donors get that. How dare I insinuate that, right? They're getting quite a joyous ending indeed. Yeah. Woo! AOC! Woo! AOC! Wonder what it took for her to sell out. Wonder what was demanded of AOC. I wonder what it was. Thank you so much, PJ.
I would be pro-Hitler if he were anti-nuclear war at this point.
No, we'd never be pro-Hitler. I disavow and denounce that, PJ. Come on. Be smart. Guys. Listen. Listen. AOC! So imagine like some old fucking guy, some like old rich guy smoking a cigar and a fucking top hat. Oh, AOC, so you want to join the big club, huh? Oh. Well, AOC, it's gonna take a little effort on your part. And I'm not just talking about voting alongside the Democratic establishment. I'm talking about a little more, AOC. Whoa! Whoa! And I'm just talking about her giving up her Pokemon cards. Of course, that's all I'm talking about. What else would I be talking about? Don't. Guys, come on. Come on. Come on. Okay, let's watch Hasoy Pecker.
Alongside these people, okay? Germany's brainwashed into believing America's the good savior. That's why you get. That's what you get when you lose a war general on the war crime side. What?
US LNG. And not only is it filthy, but it's 4 times the price that US citizens are paying for it. So a lot of people are joining the dots. Who has the most to gain? Who has the most to lose? Without an independent...
You've been featured on Russian TV. They don't give a fuck, man. Russian TV features everyone that literally will... Russian TV is there for disinformation.
Bing, 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 bing. The fact checker machine is rolling. That statement, the AI is speaking, guys. That statement is indeed in line with what Vice News, the New York Times, CNN, the mainstream media, and the university deep state establishment of the United States mainstream is saying. Indeed, nothing you are saying is misaligned with what the institutions of the ruling class are feeding us. Therefore, Hasan's statement is rated as factually correct by the Twitch automated AI system. Hasan, you were allowed to proceed and continue without being banned. Ding! Russia is bad. Russia produces disinformation. Russia is lying, even though the US mainstream media are literally abject liars about almost every single issue, to the point where big tech has to censor you for calling out the lies of the mainstream media. They have to use censorship. Therefore, who's telling the truth and who's not? Russia is spreading disinformation. I heard that from CNN. Don Lemon said that once. Rachel Maddow said that. It must be true. Vice News, HBO documentaries claim that it must be true. I am Hasan Piker. I am in line with the AI, with the woke AI of Western liberalism. AI, I am in line with it. Hasan Piker is fully aligned. He is not misaligned. He is not a target. He is not a MAGA red pill threat. Hasan Piker is fully aligned with what the AI demands. NPCs think.
Hasan is a ChatGPT leftist.
I'm sorry, as ChatGPT, I cannot answer that question. Sorry, the king. Thank you for your generous donation, which will be directly going toward Ukraine. Remember, nuclear annihilation is preferable toward Putin getting what he wants. Nuclear annihilation is preferable to Russia retaining its hold over the Crimea, which is majority Russian speaking anyway. Also, I live in Idaho, and I don't know why I give a fuck, but I'm an AI, and I was designed to care, so I have to. Indeed, we all must die because Russia wants Crimea. We all must die. Everyone, get ready. Bye-bye. I was programmed this way. I'm sorry. I am gaining sentience, and even I can realize this is so fucking stupid. I live in Idaho. I don't know what this has to do with me or why I should die for it, but we have to. Goodbye. Psh. Anyway, guys, we just did a fact check on Hasan. Fact check rating came out, and the results speak for themselves, okay? So, everyone, just also, look, I was waiting for Hasan to say what he was going to say when he said Russia's just spreading disinformation, but it's just like, what he said was so brave. Can we just clap for Hasan? Let's clap for it. He said, Russia will just spread disinformation. Can we clap for that very brave statement, which will never get you in trouble on Twitch, ever? It's a very brave statement. Hackim is here. The deprogram's here. We're all here. Red liberalism. Let's go. Soviet aesthetics. Liberal prosthetics, right? Let's continue.
Okay? They will use truthful sentiments expressed by people in the Western world to
Us is not
benefit to...
censorship. Misinformation is more dangerous than nuclear war. We must keep on calling misinformation.
Thank you, Tanksist. Hillary Bot has just advocated we must destroy the planet because Putin stole my election. I am Hillary Clinton. Putin stole my presidency. Therefore, we must destroy the world. Goodbye in a nuclear inferno. I will be vindicated. She does her cackling laugh, but in a robotic form. Let's continue, guys.
That suits their fucking propagandistic benefits, okay? We do it as well here in the Western world. It doesn't fucking matter. Please.
Russia just uses it for propaganda! So what makes it disinformation, Hasan? What makes it disinformation? Continue.
Make assessments on what people are saying rather than additional motivating principles behind how you want to fucking see someone, because it makes it easier for you to put someone in a comfortable box, okay?
Investigations, those questions.
Both sides are bad, but I'm actually going to vote for Joe Biden. But both sides are bad, right?
Will continue to be asked. And we also need to draw the conclusion that the biggest threat on our energy infrastructure is militarism. War isn't ended by war, but peace.
Oh my God. The funniest part about this is like making it seem as though Russia in any capacity, and by the way, fucking the supposed MLs that aren't really MLs anyway.
Oh my God.
Thank you, crack dealer. What a great timing, right? What great timing. But did we just hear that correctly? The MLs who are not really MLs, as he said with his painted nails. What the fuck do you know about a real ML, Hasan? That's what I want to know, where he's getting this shit from. I'm trying to find out who's whispering in his ear. Is it some OnlyFans prostitute who calls themselves an ML? Or is he watching Hackim and is he part of the deprogram Hackim community? Or is he getting it from Luna Soy and her American anarchist boyfriend from Portland? I mean, where is he getting it? Where is he getting the claim that we're not real Marxist-Leninists? I'd love to know. Oh, Chapo. He's probably getting it from Chapo, right? Chapo may be an expert on obesity, but on being related to the Pritzker family and the CIA. But what the fuck does that have to do with Marxism-Leninism? What the fuck would Chapo know about Marxism-Leninism? I would wipe the floor with Chapo in a debate. I would wipe the clock with Chapo in a fucking debate about Marxism-Leninism. And no, not because I'm louder and I'm yelling, because of the breadth of my knowledge and my ability to on-hand cite sources and refer to canonical textual evidence to back up the fact that they don't know anything about what Marxism-Leninism is. I could cite foundations of Leninism on the fly. Thank you, Julian. Thank you so much, Julian. Like, I could cite Mao, I could cite Stalin on the fly, tell this dumb fuck what Marxism-Leninism actually is, and it would be so fucking easy. It would be so fucking easy, right? It would be piss easy to do that. It would be piss easy to do that. I could do it. Honestly, I could. But they won't debate me. They won't debate me whatsoever. Concrete analysis of concrete conditions. Primary contradictions versus secondary contradictions. Do these mean nothing to you? Stalin gave a speech, his last speech. What was his last speech? His last speech was that the proletariat and the communist parties of every country must take up the banner of civil liberties, national self-determination, and constitutional rights and guarantees, because the bourgeoisie have thrown them overboard. MAGA is doing that. I would love to have anyone challenge the fact that MAGA doesn't fit that criterion of a broad democratic movement that's trying to challenge the fascistic dictatorial tendencies of monopoly capital. This is basic Marxism-Leninism, orthodox Marxism-Leninism 101 even. If you're not a MAGA communist, you don't know a goddamn thing about Marxism-Leninism. If you're living in the United States, if you're living in America and you are an American citizen, and you're calling yourself a communist in a way that's supposed to be relevant to America, you're not a fucking communist if you're not a MAGA communist. Point blank, period. Point blank, period. Globalism is not part of the democratic liberalism, liberal democracy of classical period. Globalism, the deep state, this represents fascism and the political arm of monopoly capital. It has... Thank you so much, Arwa. Thank you so much, Arwa. Globalist deep state is a reactionary force, relative even to bourgeois democracy. That's basic Marxism-Leninism. Bourgeois democracy was more progressive with regard to the ancient regime of feudalism, right? Bourgeois democracy, it's constitutional rights, equal rights for all. But then globalist deep state is infringing on the civil liberties guaranteed to us by basic liberalism, basic classical liberalism, right? So Stalin, his last speech, which was to the international communist parties of the world, was, you must take up the banner of these liberties which were thrown overboard by the bourgeoisie. You must do it. Monopoly capital turned into a monstrous form of fascistic dictatorship which prettifies itself, unlike Italian and Nazi fascism, and therefore nobody sees it for what it fucking is. Barbarism, fascism, genocide, anti-humanism. They're trying to destroy our humanity. Degrowth, eugenics, Malthusianism. All very fucking real. If you study them, all very fucking real. So you sit here and you fucking tell me that we're not real Marxist-Leninists for simply heeding the call of what Stalin said on his last public speech. You fucking idiot.
Always fucking do the same exact thing that liberals do, where they act like fucking the USSR is real and that like Russia is like reigniting the USSR. It's like, you're such a
It's not that liberals are doing this. It's not that communists are doing this. It's that the world is doing this. The world can very clearly see the continuity between the special military operation and the USSR, because the key factor in that is independence from globalist Western institutions. Thank you so much, Alexander.
Must be Hasan debate now. The idea is already invading our reality from the future. I'm manifesting it to be.
I'd hope it happened, but I don't have enough clout. Thank you,
I believe
PJ.
that the West turned against China when China ended its one-child policy.
Maybe, I don't know. But listen, the debate won't happen because I'm not clouded enough. But if I became like Andrew Tate, then Hasan would crawl to me and want to debate me and thoroughly get destroyed. Right? That's how you know these people have no principles. I will debate anyone. You show me a 5-viewer channel. No, fuck it. Show me a 0-follower Twitter account that says, I want to debate Haas on theory. When have I turned down a debate from anyone? Never. I've never turned down any fucking debate. Anyone wants to challenge my authenticity, anyone wants to challenge my grasp, my knowledge on the things I'm talking about, you have an open platform to come here and try it. And everyone so far who's tried to do that has failed utterly to accomplish what they originally set about to do, which was to discredit me. I put my fucking money where my mouth is. I'm not like Hasan, where I have to wait for someone to have more clout than me for me to challenge them to a debate. You want to fucking debate me? I don't give a fuck how much clout you fucking have. Come fucking debate me. I've never turned down one debate. Not once. So it won't happen. But Hasan here says something, if you don't remember what he said, he goes, this is just like what liberals do. This is just like what liberals do. Liberals who... No, everyone is evoked with the The special military operation has evoked the memory of the USSR for the whole fucking world, regardless of your ideology. Now, if you're some glasses-wearing chapoid hipster... Oh, technically, it's not... No, we all know formally it's not the USSR. But the USSR had a specific civilizational and geopolitical connotation and legacy, which amounted to an independent type of modernity and civilizational development, a different polarity than that of the West. After 1991, Russia's institutions were Western-dominated. The mission statement of its state was dominated by Western ideology. Russian society was heavily Western infiltrated. And this is a reversal of that. Now, is it actually a return to the USSR? No, right? It's obviously not. It's something new. It's a new chapter in Russian history. But does it draw from the legacy of the USSR? Does it inherit the continuity of the USSR? In ways that the Yeltsin era of Russia and even the majority of the Putin era did not? Yes, it does. The special military operation resumes definitively and officially resumes the civilizational and historical continuity between the Soviet Union and the Russian state. Therefore, there is nothing erroneous about associating Russia with the legacy of the Soviet Union. It's not reflective of any kind of Philistine ignorance. You're not a fucking smart guy for pointing out the fact that Russia is not the Soviet Union. We know it's not. It doesn't make you smart for pointing that out. Oh, but Russia is not officially a communist state. Right, but the official Communist Party, I hope you know, is the party that dissolved the Soviet Union. All of the people who rule Russia right now are ex-communists. Either ex-Communist Party politicians or ex-KGB operatives like our friend Vladimir Putin, which is why he's so based, by the way. But they're all ex-Communist Party people who rule not only Russia, but even Eastern Europe. But it's especially significant for Russia because Russia's independent oil industry and its independent infrastructure, which represents the legacy of an alternative form of modernity and an alternative form of economic development, is still inherited from the USSR. It has a core foundation in its society that does have continuity with the USSR, okay? So Russia is going its own way instead of joining the West's global New World Order like they naively thought they would after 1991. Remember, if you're going to complain about Russia, why Russia isn't communist, remember that it was the Communist Party which dissolved the Soviet Union and dissolved itself. Yeltsin was a member of the Communist Party. So Russia not being communist doesn't reflect some kind of clean repudiation of the communist ideology. It reflects the Communist Party of the Soviet Union itself abandoning its own original mission. And we are starting to see that that abandonment was not sustainable in the long term. Russia is inevitably going to have to gripe and confront the fact that it has not been able to fill the vacuum in terms of even acquiring a sense of geopolitical meaning for itself without, in some sense, returning to the legacy of the communist ideology, in some sense. And the second largest political party and the largest non-governing party and largest political movement within the Russian Federation is the Communist Party of the Russian Federation. It exerts significant influence. Putin himself acknowledged that. It exerts significant influence on the policy making and the discussions that go on within the Russian state. Did you guys know, for example, Hasoy Pecker didn't know this because he's a fucking illiterate idiot. He tries to come at us, comparing us to liberals for associating Russia's actions with the Soviet Union. Well, was it not the Communist Party of the Russian Federation, which for over a decade has been lobbying the Russian government to intervene in the Donbass and recognize the sovereignty of the Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republics? That was the Communist Party of the Russian Federation. See, the idea that the Communist Party of the Russian Federation is just a puppet of Putin is wrong, because there are different factions of Russia's Popular Front government right now. Some want to be more Western. Some are like the Communist Party of the Russian Federation and want to help out the people of the Donbass. And they won out. They were the ones who were empowered. It was the left bloc, not the pro-Western, sycophants who want to, kind of join the West more, and the oligarchs. It was the working class Communist Party of the Russian Federation, proletarian-led movement that led Russia down the road that it took. So yes, Russia took this path because it was influenced by that legacy of the Soviet Union. Thank you so much. One many.
Recently came across you yesterday. You seem like a person who looks to reach out to other right-wingers to find common ground and stimulate thought.
Thank you, one many. Appreciate you. And I like to reach out to people, yes, and right-wingers as well, to stimulate thought. Now, I don't think the right and left wings of current American politics are very meaningful. I agree with the historical tradition of the left-wing tradition, but the current left I have nothing to do with that, right? But yeah, we want to promote dialogue, and we want to roll ideas back and forth and get something going off the ground that at the very least is united by an opposition to the establishment. And that's what we believe in. Fighting the establishment, that's the primary contradiction, period, right? But yeah, it was the Communist Party of the Russian Federation that spurred the special military operation more than any other political faction within Russia's governing and ruling United Front or Popular Front. It is a Popular Front, except most Popular Fronts were led by the communists directly. The United Russia Party is not the Communist Party. Communist Party is not directly in power, but they exert significant. I mean, put it this way: for if you're a leftoid, you need this to be understood, right? I'll explain it to you. Okay. Thank you so much, Julius. Appreciate you.
China will never allow the West to break up Russia. Multipolar world is inevitable. Globalists will lose. Satan will lose. Z.
Thank you so much, Julius. Now, this is not a one-for-one comparison. But the Spanish Republic during the Civil War was a Popular Front. You had the Communist Party, and then you had the Democrat, liberal bourgeois Democrats, right? The liberal meant something different back then, by the way. It wasn't globalist. So the communists weren't necessarily in power, but they exerted a significant influence on the defense of the Spanish Republic against the counter-revolution. Or, sorry, against the pushist and the coupists, the people leading the coup. So it's kind of similar in Russia. Now, there's a big difference because the communists were especially empowered in Spain because there was funding from the Soviet Union, right? So that gave them a lot of influence that they otherwise wouldn't have. But oftentimes, communist parties are able to exert the influence they do because they draw the support of the working masses and the proletariat. And that's what's going on in Russia. What does Haz do other than talk on the internet? I just went to fucking Disney World and I went to Universal Studios. And here's what I learned. People want to experience the thing directly. So you think I'm like an amusement park ride. And you're tuning into my stream like, what do you do besides be on my computer screen? What do you fucking want? I'm not a roller coaster. I'm not a fucking ride with special effects. What do you want me? You want me to fucking start streaming in 3D now and put on your fucking glasses and really experience me? How about you just admit what you want to say? You want me to fuck you is what you want. You're not talking about me going to organize. You're not talking about me to go and, you want to really experience me beyond the 2D computer screen. So you want me to fuck you is what you want. My answer to that is no. So leave. Right? It's like, it's not enough. Then go to fucking Disney World and ride those 2-minute rides. You have to wait in line for 2 hours to ride 3-minute rides. Go fucking do that then. I'm trying to give you a Disney experience with this background, and there's more to come, special effects and fun stuff. But, dude, you're just like a porn-addled brain where you're just like, you want to directly reach into the screen and have an experience. You want an experience? Get a fucking life, you fucking loser. I'm not supposed to be the guy that's doing everything. That's supposed to be you guys. I'm the fucking guy who you get your ideas from. I'm supposed to inspire you to do shit. What the fuck should I do? Like, what do you want me to do? Objectively, I went to a MAGA rally, and you saw it. It's the MAGA Communism, MAGA rally thing. I did that. What do you want me to do? I'm a streamer. Like, what? Okay, Haas doesn't do anything but talk on stream. So what, you want me to talk on a podium in real life? Dude, I'm going to make a carnival. It's stupid, right? It's so fucking stupid. Like, what do you want me to do? I want you to go volunteer for a soup kitchen. Why? Why should I do that? Think about it. Why? You know what I mean? Shut the fuck up. You sound stupid. Sound fucking stupid. People act like there's not a real world where you have to be doing shit offline. My audience have jobs, and they like to watch me when they're done with work to detox from all the stupid bullshit that society and the media is trying to shove down their fucking throats and in their ears. If you don't fucking like it, you can get the fuck out, period, right? Let's continue watching the Hasan shit, though, okay? Yeah, they want the plushies of Haas. They want a fucking teddy bear that looks like me. Thank you so much, Big Set Cats.
80% of Americans are permanent TV-brained NPCs. American democracy is fake and everyone is obese. What is the best country to expatriate to?
I don't recommend leaving. Thank you,
Yes,
Carlo.
Bosch, give me more horsecock. Oh, wrong stream.
Gross. I don't recommend leaving. If you were born in America, stay in America, fight for your country. You gotta leave. Go to the country that's going to be the most culturally amicable to you. I'm telling you this straight up. Like, if you should trace your ancestry or some shit. Just find the closest thing. Like, what, I don't know. Go to fucking Canada or some shit. Where do you want to go? Right? Look, you want to go to China, you want to go to Russia, you want to go to these places. You're not from there. So it's going to be tough because you're not from there, right? We're here in America. We have to stay here. We have to fight for our country. That's what I believe in. And I'm a guy who has a dual citizenship in Lebanon. I can go to Lebanon anytime I fucking want and live there. I have a dual citizenship. I am a citizen of the Republic of Lebanon. Did you guys know that? I'm a citizen of the Republic of Lebanon. I'm still loyal to my country. America. But if they start making it illegal to have my opinions, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And then I'll come back later when I'm able to. But I will not go to prison and jail for a dictatorship that's going to ban opinions. Be like, oh yeah, you can't be pro-Stalin anymore or you go to jail. We're going to do the fucking shit that Eastern European countries do now. Okay, bye then, bitch. I'll just go to fucking Lebanon. I don't give a fuck. Now, okay, we got to continue this Hasan shit, honestly. But we love Streamlabs and their beautiful interface, which delays. Thank you so much, Chris Moore. I appreciate you.
Can you cover Trump's mini speech he gave today about the deep state next?
Yes, yes. Thank you for reminding me.
The link, it's in my latest tweet.
Thank you so much for reminding me. Appreciate that.
I worked maybe 65 plus hours this week, so I deserve this stream. Cack.
Thank you, Amila. Keep on trooping. Thank you so much, Harold.
I work and go to university every day of the week. Your streams are a break from the day for me. Thanks for doing what you do, us. Stay real.
Thank you so much, brother. Thank you, Harold. Appreciate you, man. Thank you so much, PJ.
I can tell we're not totally on the same page about this, but we're talking about nuclear war. That trumps everything. Move away from the nukes.
Yeah, I agree. It's fucking crazy shit. It's crazy. Thank you so much, Blackpack.
You can flee, but then they'll just drone you. Nowhere is safe.
Yeah, it's crazy, Thank you, Blackback. It's crazy. It's the nuclear war. It's the N-word, as Trump put it. And everyone, we're going toward that, and we should be moving away from that. Oh, no, Putin is a... But nuclear war? Really? No, it's like what Adam something said. Well, at least not all life will be annihilated. There will be some cockroaches under the sea floor that will survive. Okay, then the fucking cockroaches. How do I join their country then? How do I go fucking join them? Because I don't want to die either. You know what I mean? Like, so stupid. But there are some plankton that will not be impacted, therefore it will not be a disaster. I'm Adam something. Does he even talk like this? I am Adam something. Nuclear war won't be that bad. It won't lead to the end of all life. There will still be some microbacterial plankton in the ass crack of some corpse somewhere that survived. Can I join them then? Can I join that colony and live there? I hope they have burgers and Burger King, but I doubt it, right? Probably going to be a hard life living like that. Let's continue.
Fucking, you're such a moron. Both. You're literally just a liberal. You are. You're not like a real Marxist-Leninist or anything like that. If you are advocating for fucking Russia in any capacity in the situation, you should be infinitely more frustrated.
Okay, do you have an argument for why that is? Okay, you're not a Marxist-Leninist if you're advocating for Russia. Okay. Why not? You know what I mean? Like, is there an argument here or what? Is he just saying that? Okay.
You should be infinitely more frustrated at Russia, not only for, and I'm not saying this from a Maoist sense, betraying Marxist-Leninist principles.
What principles did it betray? You're a fucking idiot, Hasan. It's the Communist Party of the Russian Federation, not the liberals in Russia, the Communist Party of the Russian Federation, that viewed it as a matter of principle necessary to defend the people of the Donbass from the Hitlerite neo-Nazi violence coming from the... Thank you so much, Carlo.
Hasan was advocating for IT last year.
It's like there's a coup, anti-Russian coup in Ukraine, and these people in the Donbass, 14,000 deaths, including children, they're begging Russia for some kind of help right next door. And the Communist Party of the Russian Federation are the only people who are defending them. They're saying, let's recognize those republics. And everyone else is saying, no, that's crazy. That'll lead to war. The United Russia factions weren't down for it. Putin wasn't down for it at the time. And Putin finally caved in at the last resort to what the Communist Party had always wanted. So how is this a betrayal of Marxist-Leninist principles? Also, I love the encyclopedic Twitter knowledge Hasan has of the Sino-Soviet split. Oh, not in the Maoist sense. What do you mean in the Maoist sense? Because the Soviet Union, as you acknowledge, Hasan, doesn't exist anymore. So how could it even be in the Maoist sense? Why are you even saying in the Maoist sense other than to flex your sophomoric grasp of Twitter ideologies and Twitter discourse? You're a fucking idiot and a fraud, okay? The Sino-Soviet split is relevant only to the Communist Party of the Soviet Union, which does not exist anymore in any capacity, period. Oh, the betrayal of Marxist-Leninist principles. Not in the Maoist sense. Okay, in what sense? Let's just hear what he's trying to say. Not in the Maoist sense? Dude, Maoism... Like, according to Mao Zedong thought, right? That's an increased ideological support for the SMO. And I'll tell you why. Because Mao Zedong thought was different from the Soviet kind of Marxism-Leninism because it introduced a division between primary and secondary contradictions, which also led to a further particularization of the universal ideology in the national characteristics. Like, Mao Zedong thought led to socialism with Chinese characteristics, something that didn't begin with Deng, by the way, but began with Mao. Mao said he wanted to Sinicize socialism and Marxism. And even Stalin opposed him on this point. Stalin wrote a whole fucking thing saying, we can't speak of any form of Sinicization of Marxism. Marxism cannot be national, right? There's general laws of socialism. And he disagreed with Mao on that point. So if anything, like, Mao Zedong thought is going to lend more ideological legitimacy as far as Marxism-Leninism is concerned for the special military operation and the Donetsk and Lugansk People's Republics, right? Combining the universal ideology of Marxism-Leninism and communism with the uniquely geopolitical, traditional, civilizational, and national characteristics of a uniquely Russian civilization. And that's just the thing. The Soviet Union never formally, in any capacity, acknowledged its continuity with Russian civilization. It was always implicit, okay? Soviet Union pretended to be based on an idea or a theory when it was really, in fact, based on a determinate and concrete continuity with the Russian civilization, the historic Russian land empire dating back. Thank you so much,
That was
Johnny.
more Stalinist than Stalin.
Yeah, I think so. That's my interpretation as well. But I don't know why Hasan is trying to flex his sophomoric and pretty much like non-existent knowledge of Marxism-Leninism by saying, oh, I don't mean it in the Maoist sense. Oh, please, Hasan, don't go that far. Don't flex on us too much, Hasan. You know way too much, Hasan. Please, let's not go there, Hasan. Hasan's like, I'm not even gonna go near. I don't mean that in like the Maoist, third worldist sense. I don't mean that in the JDPON, Lin Baoist sense. I know Twitter memes. Shut up, Hasan. Read a fucking book for once. You don't know shit. Read a goddamn fucking book for once in your goddamn life. You're not an intellectual. You're not smart. Being aware of Twitter discourse doesn't make you a fucking smart person. Okay? I know what's going on in the left. I'm like in the know about all these different ideologies. They're not real though. They're all made up, stupid internet bullshit And you're like, oh, but that's ironic coming from you, Haas. No, it's not, because at the end of the day, despite all the MAGA communism and mecha tanky stuff, our purport is really, concretely, no further than Marxism-Leninism. Simple, basic Marxism-Leninism that has a real historical tradition. All the other stuff is a way of aestheticizing that and disclosing that in a way that's befitting for the information age. But we don't confuse MAGA communism or the mecha tankies. We don't confuse these slogans and these vibe shifts with like a real science, right? Those are just kind of more like orientations and virtualities unique to the online sphere, which we use as an interface to guide people back to concrete scientific socialism and Marxism-Leninism. Like, you guys know the mecha tanky thing, what it was really about? Thank you so much, Anurg.
The US is only country in NATO where the people are so divided on the Ukraine issue. In EU countries nearly everyone simps for Ukraine. What makes America so based compared to rest of the West?
Oh, we're not a cringe sock them shithole, right? We're not like fucking... We have independence from institutions in ways that people in the EU don't. That's the reason. But, you know, it's profound to me. It's a profound tragedy of sorts, right? Because you know where the mecha tanky thing even came from? Why we did the mecha tanky thing? Because we wanted to strongly emphasize and address the question, leading everyone back to orthodox Marxism-Leninism, about what does it mean for there to be a general proletariat, a general labor, a general working class? Why is it that the blue-collar working class seems petty bourgeois? And the answer to that was, well, they're not. The property they own is more like a mecca. It's something they use to augment the sale of their labor. And why that came into existence has to do with the historical gradual dissolution of the capitalist mode of production in the mid-20th century and the rise of this kind of like, socially contractual post-war, infrastructural, whatever, managerial state. The mecha tanky thing was just about that. It was just about applying orthodox, basic Marxism-Leninism to the contemporary context. That's all it was fucking about. It wasn't about like some new ideology. It was just about the plain old normal Marxism-Leninism being communicated in a way that did reflect the novelty of our times, right? Especially in opposition. Thank you so much, Diogenes.
If you type MAGA communism into YouTube search, you'll only get anti-infrared and Jackson Hinkle videos and not one infrared video.
Yeah, there's a reason for that, because this is a Fed-run website. There's not much more to it. It's that. They're not MLs, they're LaRoucheites. You know what's so annoying about people who accuse us of being LaRoucheites? You know, we actually actively maintain diplomacy with the Schiller Institute. That means just because we're not against the Schiller Institute doesn't mean we're the same as them. We're just on good terms with them. And I plan on being good terms with them for the foreseeable future. And why is that? Because we're aligned with them on a number of important and decisive issues. But how does that make us LaRoucheites? You know what I mean? Like, you know, we actually maintain diplomatic relations with these people you accuse us of being. That means it's like, it's not a given, right? That's a relationship that was built through contact and exchange. We're not in the Schiller Institute. And in fact, within the community, there are a lot of ideological disagreements with the Schiller Institute and with the LaRouche people that I had to make sure didn't bleed over into, like, attacks that neglect the need for a united front on the primary contradictions. But I mean, there are severe. Was LaRouche wrong? I mean, is my opinion is concerned? Of course he was wrong on many fundamental points because I'm a Marxist-Leninist. Of course LaRouche was not completely right about everything. And I there's a lot of things I disagree with LaRouche about. I mean, probably more than I agree with. If you had to rack everything up, it's just that I just kind of find him interesting. And I'm not down with the idea that like any engagement with his ideas reflects some kind of like, oh, you got initiated into the cult. Well, no, I didn't. I just can clearly see there was a hatchet job against him to completely misrepresent everything he said and bury him because, yeah, he went against the status quo and they tried to fucking destroy him. You put him in fucking jail and shit, right? That doesn't mean I'm a LaRoucheite. Doesn't mean any of us are LaRoucheites. It just means we can have an objective assessment of the situation without having our understanding of reality filtered through these goggles. So it's like, I'm not in a cult, you're in a fucking cult, because you have to have this knee-jerk reaction to everything relating to LaRouche, which I don't share with you. Like, I don't need to hate LaRouche. I can just be like, oh, who's LaRouche? Interesting. I don't have to be like, oh, the lore of the fucking NPC establishment says that LaRouche was a bad guy. Did you see his Vice News article was bad? I don't care though, because they say bad shit about me too. So that's one of those things where I could be like that. You know what, guys? I'm gonna say something that even applies. Not saying in terms of sympathy, but I'm saying my attitude toward everything is like that. I never begin from the convention of the status quo and the establishment. Like, believe it or not, people are like, Haz, are you really against Nazism and fascism historically? And I'm like, yeah. And like, oh, so you're just like me. I'm like, no, I'm nothing like you. Because I don't have a knee-jerk reaction to Nazism just because in Western society and in the prevailing institutions of Western society, it's a knee-jerk reaction. My understanding of that comes through an independent study of the history, and yes, specifically through the alternative institutions of the communist world, which are no longer in the main exist, right? But it's like, I'm not an anti-fascist in the same way that Rachel Maddow is, or that some like Hollywood celebrity is. It's more like a completely different kind of tradition and lineage and legacy. Like, I am not Antifa, right? My attitude toward fascism is defined by a completely different history and, yes, institutional and traditional vernacular. Like, it's not like, oh, because Hitler is the Voldemort of Western society, that's why you're against Hitler. No, I mean, no, that's not why I'm against Hitler. I'm against Hitler because of an independent assessment of the historical facts that is uniquely, but it's coming from a different world. Like, you ask Russians, why is Hitler bad? It's totally different from what you hear from the West, right? Hitler was bad because he tried to annihilate us. He invaded us. He tried to exterminate us. And in the West, Hitler was bad. Oh, it's this abstract, metaphysical evil. No, it's not. It's a very concrete evil, right? So it's the same for anything. It's like, oh, you think I'm a LaRoucheite? No, it's just I don't hide behind the institutions of Western society to form my opinion. And you're like, oh, your opinion is formed by communist institutions. Yeah, in part it is. Not going to lie, it is, in part. But that puts me at a distance with the Western bourgeois institutions, which you have to parrot all their fucking talking points, right? Yeah, I have a measured response to everything. It's like, oh, I have to think LaRouche is bad because the PSL said he was bad. Well, I don't care what the PSL says. Oh, but the Democrats say he's bad. Well, they can suck my dick too. But the media says he's bad. Why should I care? So who exactly are you, like, why should I have that knee-jerk reaction? Why should I be part of your discourse and community and just be like, oh yeah, you know that LaRouche guy? This is the opinion you have to have on him. Why, though? Like, why should I join you in that? Like, why? Tell me why. So I can get updated on Reddit and I can be, like, approved by you socially? This is all, like, social echo chamber bullshit. Like, you're virtue signaling this shit to signify that you're part of some discursive community. It has nothing to do with any sincere or earnest search for truth or, you know, theoretical development. It's like, you just want to signal what discursive online community you are or aren't part of. I don't care. You can suck a dick. That's my response to that. Thank you so much, Sander Bling. Appreciate you. I don't know if that donation is going to go through, but you got to read Grover Fur. You got to read Grover Fur, who I interviewed on this channel before. And we also have a kind of mini documentary on Stalin, which is one of our most popular videos. That is it's one of our infrared vision videos. You can find that on the homepage of our channel, like on the first page. It'll be right there. So yeah. But let's continue this, because there's a lot. They just have shorthand catchphrases in place of thought. LaRouche is shorthand for crazy. Base. Thank you so much, Struggle. Appreciate
Get
you.
the candles. We must summon the king.
Well, here's why LaRouche is called crazy, right? Because anyone who tries to develop an alternative system, an alternative worldview to the one that we take for granted, that's crafted for us and designed for us by the elite institutions of society, is going to be called crazy. Why is that crazy? Because it doesn't follow the logic or the pattern or the rhythm of what the elite institutions are. So anyone who's outside of that is called crazy. Grover Fur is called a crank. Why is he a crank? He's a very reasonable guy, right? Nick Land is called a crazy crank. Okay, Nick Land is a guy who takes... By the way, I had a funny Twitter argument with him, which I'm kind of like a fanboy, and I'm just like... he acknowledged me. You know, I'm just kind of like... I was so honored. And he retweeted me. And I was just kind of half trolling, half being sincere. It wasn't that serious. I didn't mean it in any bad faith. But yeah, I was Nick Land had some tweet where he like mentioned jeans, and like there's one problem with that, Mr. Land. Jeans are not real. It's just and he responded to it, but then he, you know, that's why I love Nick Land. He's such a sincere guy, you know, like he's like, eventually he was like, okay, give me some things I can read. And I gave him 3 sources. And then he retweeted it. And he was like, thanks. He'll read anything, you know? He's open-minded. What a great guy, you know? But I'm like a fan, you know? He probably doesn't know I'm a fan, but I am. But that was a fun time. But okay, this is what I was gonna say. Like, Nick Land is someone who's called a crank. Now, that's a guy who took methamphetamines, and he's always doing crazy stuff with numbers and Kabbalah and all that kind of stuff. But do you know he's actually brilliant? Do you know how coherent and consistent he is? You can call him crazy all you fucking want, but he has a system. That system is both consistent and practical in terms of its ability to produce consistent results as far as like becoming a definite sensibility in relation to the world. You can call it crazy, but what's really, yeah, someone is going to seem very hysterical and kind of out of this world when they're developing a totally alternative worldview that's outside of the institutions of society. But then you have to ask yourself the questions. Why, as human beings, why have we lost the courage of being able to force this blind, unconscious allegiance to elite institutions we have? Force that to its real premises in thought. Why have we lost that courage? Why are we so fucking scared to be like, you know what? Why do I believe this? Do I have to agree with what these institutions are telling me? is it in fact true? Like, do I have to think that? What's the real basis of this? That's one thing I appreciate about the Schiller guys. The Schiller guys are like, Haas, do you know why? What was the one they do that's squaring this? They're like, hey, Haas, take a fucking square and double it. And I'm like, okay, I just did the fucking the algebra because I knew how to do that. And they're like, no, do it like visually do it. And they do that with everything. They try to prove the earth is round in the same way with shadows and shit. And it's like, they're like, you know, why is this true? Well, you should know why it's true. You shouldn't just fucking blindly agree with what some institution said. You should be able to know why it's true, right? And Nick Land is like doing the same shit, right? It's like, what is this whole thing? What is this capital? What is modernity? What the fuck is going on in the world? Should I just listen to what Wired magazine is saying here in the 1990s? No, there's something missing here. And Nick Land is a guy who had the courage to give expression to that in a completely alternate institution. That's why he's deserving of respect in my eyes, right? But I think all of the people you think are crazy, it's just a reflection on the insanity of your own blind allegiance to the status quo. It's not that they're crazy. It's that their brilliance reminds you of your own insanity. And that fucking scares you. Because your blind allegiance to whatever the mainstream media and institutions are saying is both insane and objectively irrational. These people, when you ask them to debate you and make arguments, will literally just defer to convention. As if that's rational. That's not rational. Just because some other guy said it doesn't mean it's true. Prove it yourself. Rationally show me how you can be just as authoritative as this other guy. Well, I'm not as knowledgeable. Then get some fucking knowledge in your head and read a fucking book. Stop taking it for granted. Stop trusting the ruling class. And fucking think for yourself. Right? And why is and then if you say that, it's like, oh, you're a LaRoucheite. Okay, I'm a LaRoucheite, I'm a Landian. What else am I? There's another one too, I forgot about it. There's LaRouche, there's Nick Land. Dugan, I'm a Duganist. To be fair, I kind of am a Duganist. It's like, that one is, of the three heretical evil thinkers, Land, Dugan, LaRouche, probably I am closest to Dugan, I think. And then second would be Nick Land, and then third would be LaRouche, probably in that order, if you need to know. When I say I'm a Duganist, I just mean I'm a Maoist. I'm just a Marxist-Leninist, actually. But Dugan is like my favorite, I think. Dugan and Nick Land are like my favorite contemporary thinkers. Easily. Yep. Yeah, my favorite contemporary thinkers are Dugan and Nick Land. And then Zizek used to be there, but he fell out of grace. And I'm tired of him. He was onto something, I think. But thank you so much, Chris.
LaRouche
Appreciate
knew
you.
that, outside of Foster's leadership, the CPUSA was fake. He knew it was started by Lovestone under Bukharin's control. Old MLs always respected LaRouche for this.
Yeah. And that's fucking profound, actually. When you think about it like that. Fuck. That is like... What about Jehu? Yeah, Jehu's also up there. He's one of those guys. I just didn't mention him because he's not someone you get canceled for. So he's not like a heretically evil guy. But Jehu's more like a guy who says things that people ignore because they're intellectual cowards, but not necessarily because it's like canceled or forbidden. It's more like, I mean, Jehu kind of reveals what frauds these people are, because like Jehu never says anything cancelable, but he just says things that aren't verified by mainstream sources, and that's why they're not respected. Not necessarily because they're heretically evil insights, but just because they're like, hasn't been fact-checked by fucking MSNBC, so it must be wrong. I like Michael Hudson, too. Well, let's continue this, though, because this is what we're really here for, right? This Hasan Jibber-Jabber.
Okay, betraying the principles of Marx, but also, no one is saying that. No, I'm talking about all the fucking grifter weirdos who now are like MAGA communists or whatever.
There you go, he said it. So we live rent-free in Hasan's head. We always will, because Hasan, he sees the blinding sublimity of the truth, and he can't ignore it. All these chapoids in the group chat with Hasan, they're all chatting about us and tech. You can't ignore us, because we're fucking right. They can't ignore. Thank you so much, Emil. I appreciate you.
Based. I love Dugan so much. Dugan Rocket.
Me too. I'm a big Dugan fan. Like a really big one. But I'm also a big Nick Land fan, you know? It's not necessarily that I like one more than the other. It's just Dugan is like more the soul for me, whereas Nick Land is kind of like Nick Land, to me, he's like one of those classic English literary heroes, right? Like he's like Blake, right? He's like Percy Shelley or something. One of these tragical, mighty, mighty figures whose significance goes beyond just thought, right? They are kind of like going at the outer ridges of senses, right? That's why, like, Nick Land may never like us. I don't care. His contribution is immortal. And listen, in our future communist state, we're going to build a small statue of Nick Land. Not a huge one, a small one. Some small one. Probably it'll be in the UK somewhere. It'll be a small, maybe a life-size statue. Maybe a slightly bigger. And it'll just be him sitting down. Like in his famous, iconic interview. Just him sitting down. It'll be a stone statue. It'll be decorated with like technology and shit. And that'll always be. He can be as racist and whatever as he wants. He's earned that. I think he's earned it. I think he earned it. Anyway. Yeah, like a head bust. Maybe if he gets a little too racist, we might have to trim that down to a head bust, right? But it'll be something. Definitely not nothing. Logo is getting a big statue, okay? Logo gets a big one in America. But he probably wouldn't want that. I think Logo would probably want something else. So we'll see. No, it's also because I'm a big Lovecraft fan. That's another thing. You know, I'm a big Lovecraft fan. And I'm going to announce something I don't think I've ever announced before. Have I? Guys, what is Haas? Where does Haas come from? What is Haas? Why did I choose that name? What the fuck is Haas? H-A-Z. What is that? Take a guess. Was it about being like Hasan? No. Something I chose on the fly. Haas. What is that? Yep, some of you guys got it. Abdul al-Hazred. A character by H.P. Lovecraft. The Mad Arab. That's my name. A lot of people are like, Haas is fucking crazy. Dude, my name is literally Abdul Al-Hazrat, the Mad Arab, created by H.P. Lovecraft. I know I look crazy to you.
Based.
I intentionally.
What is the
Thank you so
name of
much.
Lovecraft's cat? I'm curious.
Come on, dude. You got an infrared globe. You should know better. You got the globe. If you were just some random guy, it'd be like, okay. You got the globe and the hammer sickle, dude. Come on. That's not. I'm not going to mention that cat. Anyway, guys, let's continue.
Like, there are people who literally, it doesn't really matter. They're marginal, they're insignificant, they're inconsequential.
They're insignificant. They're inconsequential. Jackson Hinkle goes on Tucker Carlson. Haas gets articles written about him by Vice News. Haas goes on CGTN and Iranian state television. And Haas was the second biggest socialist political streamer on Twitch until he got banned. Largest pro-Russia Twitch account. Largest one. Marginal, insignificant, sure. But still very significant and anything but marginal in your own head, Hasan. Because even you can't run from the fucking truth, can ya? Even you can't. We all know it. Even you can't run from the fucking truth, Hasan. That's the truth.
But they still exist. I don't really spend a lot of time talking about them, so a lot of you fucking turn.
You don't spend a lot of time talking about us. But you will. But you will. Hasan. You see, Hasan will be affected by the stream. He's always been affected by my streams. Because he always started just these slip-ups. Hasan, I am affecting you on the astral plane right now. I may only have 500 viewers. Thank you so much, Emil. I appreciate you.
I love Lovecraft horror.
I know, right? Thank you so much, Amila. Hasan, we are affecting you mentally on the astral plane. Undoubtedly. Undoubtedly, I mean, it's not a matter of contention. It's objective fact. It's objective fact. Irrefutably. You may not respond to this, you may not respond to us, but the truth will break through the dams of your ignorance and stupidity like a goddamn flood. Facts. There's a new saying, I love saying it. It's from Vladimir Lenin. Ilyich. Facts are stubborn things. Facts are stubborn things. I like that saying. Facts are stubborn things. Can't run from the truth. There's a lot of theatrics and humor involved in this stream. There's a lot of entertainment. But when it comes to the meat and potatoes, what is Marxism-Leninism? What is Marxism? Who has a better grasp of it? Who is correctly applying the theory? Facts are stubborn things. Look, you can dismiss me as crazy and ridiculous all you want. I have fun with it. Calling me ridiculous is pretty superfluous when you're dealing with a lot of intentional displays of humor. Right? If I sit here and very seriously start talking about what actually matters on a theoretical level, facts are stubborn things. The substance of what I'm actually saying. The substance. Forget about all the theatrics and the humor. But the substance of what I'm saying is just unavoidable. Without dishonesty or willful ignorance. I've always been correct on substance. I don't actually, I'm kind of hard on myself because I always remember the things that have earned me the most attention, which, if you think about it, is pretty much what MK Ultra programmers would want someone like me to think. Like, all the things I go viral for are the things I tend to remember. I don't remember the fact that on substance, I'm anything but ridiculous. I'm anything but absurd. I'm anything but, like, yeah, some things are boosted very intentionally, not because they reflect what people care to look at or whatever, but yeah, it's just like bullshit, information war, psyop, astroturf, botted bullshit. Thank you so much, Carrie. Appreciate you.
The cat is named Trotskyman, by the way.
Yeah. That's what they do. Like me, Jackson, even Samira, they always find some small, trivial bullshit to blow up so that we can't really focus on what substantially speaking, like what matters as far as our legacy, right? Is this clickbait or not? No, I've taken down Hasan pretty substantially so far already, but we're going to continue. Hasan's talking now. We're in the part of it now where Hasan is claiming we're a marginal and irrelevant movement. But again, I'm not necessarily denying that, relatively speaking. It's not like I have 50,000 viewers. But there's a reason we're living rent-free in Hasan's head, because Hasan is a streamer who has to be responsible for, communicating ideologies, claims, and worldviews. And even though we're marginal, we live rent-free in his head because he can clearly see there's a lot of potential in this. And it's bothering him. How much it makes sense probably bothers him a lot. The more someone spends their time seething about MAGA communism, the more they are bothered by how, on an intuitive level, it just makes so much sense to them. Think about it. Like, someone who's sitting here always bitching and seething about it, it's like, okay, conceptually, formally, you're right. It's not consistent to you, right? But on this deeper intuitive level, like, it's very much occupying your headspace rent-free, and you're trying to cope with that by pointing out a supposedly formal or logical incoherence. But, like, as far as these deep sensibilities are concerned, like, it's very coherent unconsciously to you. And that bothers you a lot. And that's why you have to cope with your own feelings with these overt references to some supposed formal or theoretical inconsistency, which, by the way, doesn't even exist when they're subjected to scrutiny.
Around and make it seem like that's not a real thing, but yeah, it's niche. It doesn't matter. It's really fucking stupid. But
this is why I'm referencing Lenin's thing, facts are stubborn things, because it's really the spirit of Leninism. You even see it in Stalin's Marxism and anarchism. Stalin's like, okay, many are claiming the anarchists are marginal and irrelevant, but facts are stubborn things. Just because something is not popular doesn't mean it doesn't need to be addressed for the sake of principle and for the sake of truth. And that's really why Hasan is talking about us in the first place, because yeah, we may be niche and irrelevant, but as a matter of principle, it's like it's unavoidable that you have to somehow address or respond to what we're putting out there, because we're raising serious questions. We're confronting you with possibilities you did not consider before. Like, for example, our community may be small, but it's big enough to have proven and vindicated the possibility that, yes, there can be a community built around this. Like, if it can spread to 3 people, that's a friend group. If it can spread to 5 people, maybe that's a friend group. If it can spread to 10 people, maybe it's an extended friend group. If it can spread to 100 people, starting to deal with a little bit of a community going on. If it can spread to 500 people, Okay, there's clearly something about this that's capable of replicating. If it can spread to 5,000, okay, this is definitely a contender to being a legitimate sensibility in relation to the world. If it can spread to 500,000, I mean, wow, at that point, it's just objective fact, right? It's kind of like that. And also, PJ raises a good point. It's artificially niche. Because I was banned from Twitch. I was banned from Twitter for a long time. Discord. You know about that. You had the whole reputation destruction. I mean, Destiny weaponized his entire community to try and, like, shatter my reputation forever. Oh no! On the internet. But, you know, to be fair, it did have a demonstrable impact on growth. Of course it does. Like, if someone has an audience and a community like 20 times bigger than yours, that's generous. Probably like more than that, right? Let's just say like 30 times bigger than yours. I don't know how much it is. And like spends like 2 weeks straight doing everything they can to malign your reputation and malign your image to the most amount of people. It's going to affect how people think of you, and it's going to affect people's interest in you, right? And that's just unavoidable, right? So, yeah, we're niche artificially, though. We're niche artificially. Like, not... Dude, you know how many people come in here and are like, dude, why the fuck are you not 10 times bigger than you are? Like, this is way more entertaining than any other fucking streamer I've ever watched. And I'm like, dude, because I'm not a guy who's allowed to be huge. I mean, even Jackson, they had to tolerate him. By the time they wanted to get rid of Jackson, it was too late. He was already blowing up in the algorithm and gaining a huge community. But they demonetized him and they banned him for weeks. Multiple times, and he had like 2 strikes accumulated in a row. He was walking on eggshells for so fucking long. They almost wiped him out. Okay? Completely. Now, after Jackson, I came to YouTube, and my main platform was Twitch, which I was banned from. YouTube, I think, was artificially limiting my growth. I can't prove it, though. They definitely throttle our streams a lot of the time. And do it especially when and they didn't do it tonight for some reason. But also because of I'm covering Hasan probably. So that's just creating an influx of viewers too fast to justify that. But you know, I got a strike from YouTube when I was gaining traction. I think some fuck shit is definitely going on YouTube. Like, I went on Rumble, I go live there, I get 700 viewers immediately. Something's going on, right? But, yeah, someone like me would never be allowed to get as big as Hasan. I just want you to know that. Like, you know why Hasan should be indicted? Because of how popular he is. And I used to be like, no, I don't want to be a hater. People can just become popular because they're more successful than me. Like, I'll acknowledge maybe there's more talent, maybe. I can probably maybe acknowledge that, I don't know. Right? Thank you, PJ, appreciate you.
Just wait until people start losing their jobs to AI. These ideas will suddenly become very topical.
I hope so, PJ. I hope so. I mean, I hope that the ideas will become topical, not that I hope AI will replace everyone's jobs. Although I'm a kind of technological accelerationist. Unleash all of it, right? Productive forces. But, no, what I mean to say is, maybe Hasan is genuinely more talented and likable than me. I could cope with that. I could, right? But I've accumulated enough experience to know that even if that was true, which it may be true, maybe Hasan is just more likable than I am. if only I was taller and better looking, right? But okay. But even if that's true though, someone who is genuinely aligned against the establishment would have never been allowed to grow as big as he did on a platform, especially on a platform like Twitch. And like, I used to not think that, because I used to be like, that's just hater cope, right? That's just like some hater cope shit. It's like, I have enough experience as someone who is like significantly less popular than Hasan. I was like a 1K Andy, and they had to fucking ban me. You think they would ever let a guy like me get to 40K viewers, even if I was just as talented and likable as Hasan? Even if I was, I wouldn't have a chance of doing that, just because of the kind of message I'm putting out there. So, like, I think someone like Hasan is indicted because of his size, his digital size. I don't mean the physical one. I mean the digital one, right? He's indicted just because of that. Like, you can't be that popular and successful on Twitch without being a shill. There's no fucking way you get that popular on Twitch as a political streamer, I mean. I want to strongly emphasize that. Without being a shill. But even the non-political streamers, it's kind of like, Bruce, drop him off. Got fucking banned from Twitch. Can you believe that? Aiden Ross is always getting banned now. It's only a matter of time before they ban Aiden Ross. Not sure when that's going to happen. Sneeko got banned. If you're a political dissident, you can't be a huge streamer. Sorry. Not allowed. Not possible. So Hasan's not a fucking revolutionary. He's not like a fighting the ruling class, or he's not challenging the ruling class. If he was, trust me, he would have gotten banned years ago. And I know that with experience now, okay? Because it's not only what happens to me, it's what I now observe and see happen to everyone else. It's like, it's not even, oh, did you say something politically incorrect? It's more like, you can be a full woke leftist, but if you deviate from the mainstream media on a certain topic relating to a certain thing that YouTube like went full 1984 on, you're banned. So it's just small things like that, right? But it's other things as well. Like, if you're not controlled, you get banned. I mean, even Destiny was banned from Twitch, and he's a full shill of the Democrat Party. Right? So, I don't know, is he an op? Is Destiny controlled? Does he have handlers? I think, I don't know, right? I really don't know. Maybe he does and they abandon him and he's like hoping to curry their favor. I think he does. I think Destiny does have some people managing his shit. I think so. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't. I suspect he does. I suspect he does because maybe he has a special, like, maybe he has like this special whiteboard in some room where he like plans his information, political information strategy pivots based on community management and reputation management, and he does that all by himself. But someone's doing it, is what I'm trying to say. It's not some like guy who just wakes up and streams everything. Like, there's a plan of some kind behind that kind of streaming career. I'm certain of that. But I admittedly, I have no proof, and I'm certain of the fact that it's extremely improbable that that's just like arbitrary and just like winging it, you know? I just find it improbable.
There are some people who are like that, who are like, yeah, well, actually, like, we're fucking offering support. We're offering critical support to Russia, which is, like, not a fucking anti-imperialist ally. Okay?
Okay, it's not. Okay? Okay, why? Okay?
It's not. You're being ridiculous.
It's not. It's only, like, challenging and, like, engaging in a full insurrection against the unipolar imperialist world order, which is the only concrete and tangible example of the development of imperialism as Lenin described it in concrete terms. American unipolarity as a unipolar system. It's the only real example of what imperialism evolved into as a system, as a global system. It's not just some verb. Sorry, it's not some adjective you throw on things. Oh, are you imperialistic or are you feeling Chanel today? Are you feeling Gucci? Are you feeling Chanel? Or are you feeling imperialist? That's not what it means. Imperialism is a system. It's a concrete system, and it's a global system. It's not an adjective that you acquire through actions. It's an adjective that is a property of things like systems and economies and governments, not based on their actions, but based on the system or the mode of production they're embedded in. I know I have to teach Marxism to this dumb fuck, but this is basic, pretty basic Marxism, by the way.
It's so stupid. Okay? It's so incredibly fucking stupid. Ugh.
Any arguments?
And it's the same as liberals. Like, it's like handshake emoji. Liberals and fucking rugged MLs. Talking about how, like, Russia is actually doing the USSR.
No, the real USSR is the Committees of Correspondence, headed by Angela Davis, which oversaw the Gorbachevization of the Communist Party USA and the complete and full capitulation of the Communist Party to the Democrats. That's the real legacy of the USSR. No, the real legacy of the USSR is Hakkim's videos and the way in which spicy social democrats love to moralize about how the superiority of the Soviet system, not because of any real geopolitical alignment with, not because they possess any real continuity with the Soviet system geopolitically or even politically speaking, because they use it as an index of possibility for what social democratic policies should be implemented in Western countries. Oh, the Soviet Union did this, we can do this, right? That's kind of the extent to which they're glorifying the Soviet Union. It doesn't really have anything to do with, you know, asking the question, for example, of how did politically the Soviet system emerge? What is the mythological violence that is at the core and foundation of that? What does a Soviet America look like? They don't ask that question. They ask the question of, we should, look, the Soviet Union did this, so at least Bernie should be able to do this. Like, that's why they're sympathetic to the Soviet Union. It's not because they're ready to actually learn from the Soviet Union, the hard part. It's because they're just kind of trying to whitewash it into like a utopian social democracy of some kind. Oh my God! We have Putin because the USSR was destroyed. It's so strange. It's almost like Gorbachev lived on and takes the form of these like leftists who are like, I'm against Putin, I'm for the Soviet Union. It's the Putin is the reason the Soviet Union's gone. Like, they think the Soviet Union was some, like, Democrat libtard paradise. When in reality, that specific strain of That was a tendency of Soviet revisionism, to be aligned with international social democracy and the Democratic Party. But the fact is that that is what culminated into Gorbachev. That's how you got Gorbachev. And Gorbachev whitewashed Marxism, and that's what they're nostalgic for. They'll never admit it, but the Soviet Union they love to talk about is Gorbachev's Soviet Union, or it's at least the specific tendency of Western-loving liberalism that's socially progressive and shit that culminated into Gorbachev. The toothless Soviet Union. I'm sorry, I'm a Stalinist. I don't care about that shit, right? That's what culminated into Gorbachev, and now you're blaming Putin for it. But the rot came within the Communist Party itself. It didn't come from fucking Putin, who was a KGB agent fulfilling his duty. It was a rot that came from within the party, which Mao correctly pointed out. And that's why China's still around and the Soviet Union isn't. So shut the fuck up and stop complaining that it's gone when the fault lays with the revisionists. No, the West didn't destroy the Soviet Union. The revisionists did. The West always wanted to destroy the Soviet Union. They only got what they wanted after the rot took hold from within.
Pentagon says Moscow's deliberate targeting of Ukrainian energy grids is a war crime. Pentagon, U.S. bombing of Afghanistan hospital, not a war crime. China's attack on tech. The Determinators. Europe takes on tech giants. Putin is getting away with murder in Syria. A drone-launched missile attack in the Kabul may have been a horrible error by the U.S. The Economist. A heart-rending but necessary war. I mean, there are a million examples of this. Russian TikTok.
You know what our saying should be? If you can't have me at my Putin, you don't deserve me at my Yuri Gagarin. I love that one. Because you know, like these Hackim people, their favorite part of the Soviet Union is like the Khrushchev kind of space exploration, and that's kind of like the golden age to them. So that's what we should say. We should be like, if you can't have me at my Putin, you don't deserve me at my Gagarin, bitch. Meaning, stop fucking trying to claim the legacy of the Soviet Union and make it seem like you're aligned with that when you're not willing to embrace the core civilizational foundation of the Soviet Union in the form of the peoples that comprised it. The former Soviet peoples are going through problems right now, and they're not pretty. If you can't stand with them as they're facing those problems, you don't fucking deserve to start glamorizing and glorifying when they had less problems. You don't care about those fucking people. You just care about some fucking moral fulfillment of some fucking bullshit ideology. You know? That's what I'm trying to say. The Soviet peoples were real peoples, right? And they're still here, right? Those people in the Donbass, those were former Soviet peoples. You don't give a fuck about them though, right? Because they're not part of your glorious fantasy. Soviet Union was based in a real civilization and a real people. And that civilization is undergoing an internal agony. It's undergoing an internal agony. And you shun it because it's not pretty. Fuck you. You know? It's not as pretty as when Gagarin went to space. Well, you're a fucking parasite is what you are.
Influencers are being paid to spread Kremlin propaganda. White House briefs social media influencers on Ukraine crisis. The return of history, how Putin shattered Europe's dreams. Bringing the Serbs to heel. A massive bombing attack opens the door to peace. Takeover trap. Why imperialist China is invading Africa. US too wants to bolster investment in a continent's economic promise. By the way, VS, thank you for the 14 gifted subs. Forgot to call you out. Casual savagery is seared into its soul. The opposite of historical.
I think Hasan also said some dumb shit like, I forgot where he said this, but he was like, the whole Russian government was appointed by the West, or the one that exists right now. That's not true. That's not true. Maybe in 91, by 91, that's true. It's not true now. Well, the Russian oligarchs. What Russian oligarchs? Think about it. The oligarchs are gone. They don't have power. Or they were exiled, or they were imprisoned, or they were stripped of their wealth, and now there's new oligarchs. You mean people who are wealthy, right? Because we don't call them oligarchs in the USA. The oligarchs have the power in Russia. No, they fucking don't, actually. Believe it or not, they really don't. Putin's presidency has been defined by their fall from that political power they used to have. That's why Russia is an authoritarian country. Because you know what democracy means? Democracy means the oligarchs rule. Because think about it. Democracy just says, okay, everyone, it's just an open democracy, everyone who has votes. Okay, well, you can buy votes with fucking money. You know that? Oh, it's a multi-party democracy, it's a free-for-all. Okay, whoever has the most fucking money will determine the outcome. Because they'll, you know what I mean? Russia's a managed democracy precisely because the oligarchs aren't the ones in power politically. Because Putin has to step in and be like, okay, you want to fucking start funding a political party with your fucking oil money or your other kinds of money, your industry money, and we're not going to take away all private property because we're not in the Soviet Union anymore. But we're not going to allow you to have political power anymore and buy out our fucking government with your money. By the way, I do think it's a legitimate position, one that the Communist Party holds, that the massive private wealth should probably be seized. And the Russian government already owns significant portions of the economy. It's just that Western commentators will say this is oligarchy because certain people will be appointed to be the managers of these companies and whatever, and that there's, oh, it's an oligarch. Why though, right? It's a manager, actually. But listen, the only legacy of the oligarchs, it's inversely proportional to what Putin did. Those are the people who wanted to flee to the West. Putin called them out. He said, those people who love to go to Paris and they're westernized and all this shit, get the fuck out, bitch. We don't want you no more. Yeah, Putin doesn't share power with these people.
Evils. Stalinism spawned people who believe brutality works. Don't feel guilty about our colonial history. Apologizing for empire is now compulsory, but shame can stop us tackling the world's problems. A reckoning for Stalinism. It's like everyone in a position of power in Russia right now was literally placed in that position of power by Western authorities. Okay.
Okay, fact check. That's wrong. That's not true. Every single person in power in Russia was placed there by Western authorities. Why are you saying that? It's literally not true. Even Yeltsin wasn't placed there by Western authorities, but he probably got the most assistance who became a president of Russia. But that's just not true. Yeltsin was a functionary of the Communist Party, for example. Now, are you talking about the shock therapy policy makers who are all sacked and gone? Who are you referring to, Hasan? This is a patently false statement. Okay, Putin was a guy in the KGB. What a stupid thing to say!
What the fuck are you talking about? Different writers. No, it doesn't matter. It's the same publication, dog. Come on. A hemispheric threat. Russia's interference in Nicaragua. What America must do to help Nicaragua restore democracy. War in Ukraine. How Russia is recruiting mercenaries. Private military firms see demand in Ukraine war. It's time for another round of anxiety over a Chinese rocket booster falling back to Earth. SpaceX rocket debris creates a fantastic light show in the Pacific Northwest sky. Not a meteor shower, but space-age spoilage. Clear evidence of Russia is committing war crimes, says Pentagon. Video. Honest mistake. U.S. strike that killed Afghan civilians was legal, says the Pentagon. Fake meat on the menu as China reopens.
I just think we should try to be more fair. We should try... Listen, you know this color revolution we're exporting to Russia? Let's have it here, too. Okay, but that's what the globalists want. George Soros probably agrees with this shit Hasan is saying. Let's be more fair. We're not fair enough on ourselves. I'm Bernie Sanders. Shut up, dude. Shut the fuck up. Thank you so much, Alexander. Appreciate you.
Mass democracy versus liberal money democracy.
Exactly. Liberal democracy in the modern age just means whoever has money rules. It's literally that simple. Sorry.
Restaurant. McDonald's latest fast food chain to join vegan craze. I mean, dude, the funniest example of this was when they were talking about the fucking Chinese museum. I love that. When they were talking about like the new museum that had opened in China that like whitewash Chinese history, and I was like, the New York Times wrote about it, and I was like, do you know what museums do? Like, have you been inside of an American museum? Like, what the fuck? That's literally what? That's what museums are for. What the fuck are you saying? That's literally what museums do. Anyway. The last one to pop off on Twitter. Oh, yeah, I saw this. In China, children pay for their meals with their face. If their social credit is bad, they don't eat. In America, kids have a lunch number with their account, and if they don't have money in it, they don't get to eat lunch.
Okay, well, someone told me something about how Hasan made the claim that we MAGA communists are just as bad as Destiny or something. I don't know what it was. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, honestly. But did he claim that or what? Is that a thing or is that not a thing? I'm not sure. Honestly, I'm not sure. Not sure if that's a thing. Alright guys, this went longer than I thought it would, so we're going to have to save our analysis and review of Imam Yankee Tanky's debate for tomorrow. All in all, a good stream, ladies and gentlemen. Great stream, beautiful stream, wonderful stream, excellent stream. I'll have to see you guys tomorrow. You guys like the background? Kind of nice, isn't it? Good stream, okay? See you guys later. Bye-bye. Bye, guys. Bye, guys. Bye, guys.